much. I'm the runner. I run an internet radio station, and I search the internet for unique artists and artists that pique my interest. I had a radio station about 10 years ago on Live 365, and I started to do the same thing, but Live 365 went defunct. So I decided to come back, bounce back, and a lot of people that I played on my station prior, they're allowing me to play their music again on my station. And because of the technology, internet, and the platforms, I'm able to garner more new artists. So I reached out to you because, and we'll get into the questions, Jody, but that Closer video, it's genius. it's genius. Who's the guy in the video? And for the folks watching, this video, Closer to You by Who Is Jody, you can look it up on YouTube, but it's phenomenal. Who is the guy in the video?
That's cool. That caught your attention. He's actually a friend of mine. And the funny thing is, he's actually doing a lot of different characters.
Yeah, I forget the gentleman's name in the States, but he reminds me of a comedian. And he's got that look about him where he's like serious but funny. And I was watching him, and it's perfect. It's perfect. That well done. Yeah. I'm gonna play this video in the background on my other computer here. I love it. I love it. And the melody in here and the hook it's good. It's really good. So tell me, we all know that Amsterdam is the Mecca, okay, the epicenter of electronic music, trance, techno, and you've had the greats like Hardwell, Afrojack, Tiesto come out of there. And I gotta say, man, you're parallel right there with them. Your music is really good, and what really made me feel great about your music is your home studio. You're producing really good music that people are dancing to from your residence. So tell me one, how you got started, who were your influences back in the day, and just tell me about yourself.
Okay, maybe I'll do a real quick presentation about myself. I actually used to be a professional snowboarder back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, I did it for around 10 years.
Nice.
I was freestyle snowboarding for the Dutch team, and traveling around the world doing competitions in half pipe, big air, and sometimes a little bit of border cross competitions as well. So I kind of have a sport background. However, also during that time, I was always involved with music because after competitions, there were a lot of parties. So who had to take care of the music? That was me.
Right.
So during my career as an athlete, I also had a big passion for DJing and taking care of music during parties, for example. So I did that for around 10 years. In 2006, I had a serious accident with my snowboarding during a competition in Oslo, in Norway. And that was actually the end of my snowboarding career. So I had to take a real long break. It took me a year to recover. I was in the hospital for 3 months, and it was quite a serious accident. So after that, I took some time off and decided, well, why not go full time for the music? And here we are now, 10 years later again.
Yeah,
it doesn't go. Yeah, I mean, especially in Holland. I mean, there's so many DJs, so many good producers, and the way to make a difference here is creating a unique sound. And that's quite hard.
Well, it is, but your music obviously is different. You obviously have people that love your music. just judging from your page, and then to see people dancing to your music, that's got to feel great.
Yeah.
And what a way to rebound, though. Your snowboard, I would have never known, because I don't think there's anything on the internet about that that I could find.
There is some, and yeah, I haven't mixed it a lot. For example, now that I'm more in the picture as a DJ and producer, and maybe I should mention it more often than I used to be a professional snowboarder. Yeah,
it's a unique background, but to bounce back as a DJ, I mean that's you can't ask for anything better. Obviously, you're enjoying that, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. So, tell me, how are you? Because I saw that you use Ableton.
Yes.
Is that your DAW of choice?
Well, I started producing, and I started using Nuendo. Do you know Nuendo?
I've seen it.
It's the same as Cubase almost.
Yeah, yes.
But it's more targeted on video music productions. But I got it from a friend of mine who had Nuendo, so I got into using Nuendo as a production program. Mm-hmm. And I started also a SAE course in Rotterdam in Holland. Mm-hmm. To get the finer details of learning how to produce, because I didn't know it all. But quite quickly after that, I stepped over to Ableton, which is, I think, in my opinion, more creative.
More intuitive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier. For me, it was more easier. A lot of co-producers, they want to have Logic because they think it's better in mixing. I think so too, but for the creative aspects, it's Ableton. Yeah, for me.
Well, I used Ableton probably 4 or 5 years ago when I created my very first songs. I have an album on iTunes, but I gravitated towards Logic because I had a Mac, and it just, it flowed well, and you have GarageBand, but I'm seeing a lot more people using Ableton.
Okay.
In a big way. Yeah, it's like Ableton, however they redesigned it, I guess they have more options, more sounds, better sound bank. I'm just old school. Logic is my choice. But I'm noticing, I talked to several people recently, and they use Ableton. And from what I remember from Ableton, I was surprised when I looked at one of your videos and you were producing a song with Ableton. You gave us a tease, I think, on YouTube. And I couldn't believe it was Ableton.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No. So what other hardware are you using with Ableton?
It's all kinds of presets from especially Waves.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of the Waves presets. So
yes.
I must say the all creative stuff I do in Ableton. Mm-hmm. I'm actually just 2 weeks ago I bought Logic again to get into the mixing process a little bit more better, because it just sounds a little bit more clearly, and the possibilities you have with Logic, it's it's true. It is a little bit more crispier on Logic if you go to the mixing process.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get actually into the Logic and get to know it a little bit better. But it's just especially Waves presets that I use for mixing.
Yeah, I like. I bought the machine probably 3 years ago. The very first one. I got a buddy who works at Guitar Center here, and he sold me on it. I used it in the beginning, but it didn't sync well with Logic, and so I left it alone. But I think there have been 4 or 5 versions of the machine now. They have a micro machine. And I'm trying to get back into it. Like you, I've taught myself how to use it. I mean, I started with Reason. Okay.
Okay.
I bought Reason years ago, and then I bought the instructional booklet for it, and I taught myself how to use Reason, and I made a couple songs. I mean, as a producer, it's funny. I was talking to Attella. They're from Norway, Bergen, Norway, last weekend, and we were talking about how many songs, productions do you have where you start and you don't finish, and then you go back later once you learn more of the software.
Yeah.
And the more you produce, you start to hear melodies and hooks because you know your sound banks and your experience from producing. You know what fits well, and you can start to hear sounds when you're making your music because you know what will fit well. Like your bass drops, pretty good, pretty freaking good. I mean, it's like you know when to add bass, when to add a unique melody, and that's what happens with this music. As you start producing, and then you can start a song, a production, or a track, and then you just leave it alone for 6 months because you're like, I want to add something, but I don't want to rush it. And then you come back to it. So how many unfinished tracks do you have?
Too many.
Yeah.
Well, it's. I hope the connection is still good because it's fading away a little bit.
Is it? Okay.
But it's quite funny. This. I think this is a common thing for every DJ producer out there. I mean, the hardest part of producing is finishing a track. That's. I mean, the creative idea, having it, of course, but finishing it, that's always the hardest part. However, it's funny that you come up with this subject because I just finished a track that has been laying around for 2 years. And I think I've signed it as well on a Spanish label. So I'm quite, if they're gonna sign it, I'm really stoked because they're doing a lot of parties on Ibiza as well.
Nice.
So I'm just stoked that I just finished it. So I mean, it's been laying around for 2 years, and I've been twisting it a little bit. I couldn't get the right idea that I had with it, and it's like, no, it's not that. Forget it. It's laying there around for 2 months more, and then after 2 months, I'll have to try it again. No, and that's been going on for 2 years.
Well, that's typical. Everyone I talk to, they say the exact same thing. The exact same thing. But the good thing is, when you do revisit and finish it, you know it's really good.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really satisfied now, and I'm lucky to have the possibility to mix and master my track at a really good studio here in Holland. They are really known for having amazing artists there, so I'm really lucky that I could mix and master my track there. It's called the WHOISJODY Studios. It's really famous here in Holland. Mm-hmm. So it took me 2 years, but at the end, it's all worth it. Yeah.
No, I think that's amazing because you're going to continue to have an inventory of music to build upon. And it's not like because there are times, and I mean, obviously, I don't DJ. I just produce music. I do this. My thing is promoting artists and producing my own music, and I'm really lazy about how I produce my music. I will have a great idea, and I will spend a lot of time like on the intro, and I'll sample various sounds. If I don't like them, I walk away and I come back, and it takes me a while to finish a really good one. But because every DJ has their taste of sounds. Like, for example, I'll get on lootmasters.com, and I look for really gritty, grimy, electronic samples, and I like to take those samples and I manipulate them. And my signature sound is I'm from Chicago, outside Chicago. I grew up on house music, so house music is second nature to me, and I like doing things a little different. So if you talk about my music, I can go old school house, I can go progressive, and I'm not going to say that I'm as good as the folks in Amsterdam, the DJs that come out of Amsterdam. Okay, that's some serious talent and some serious patience. But I have my signature sound. It's very electronic experimental. So what is your signature sound? Because you have some really badass hooks in your music and your melodies. Like, and I know I get bad about this. I end up talking to the artist too much without playing their music. So first, let's talk about that first. What's your signature sound? And then I'm going to go through the songs that you sent me. But I want to also spend some time on Closer to You. Because that's a hook. So go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is that I use samples as well. Not too much, but I use samples as well. And especially hooks that I think are like, wow, this hook is amazing. Mm-hmm. And if I show the hook to someone, don't you think this hook is amazing? I can build a track around it. And then they look at me like, this hook is insane. You cannot build something with this. But that's my, how do you say? I think that's the key part of my music, that I use a strange hook and build something around it, especially a bass line.
Yes.
If you got a bass line that fits into it, then it's just like filling the other pieces around it. So if I can manage to find a real tight bass line with a hook, then I'm set.
Yes.
And I think that's what was Closer to You as well. You have the flute, the doot, 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 doot. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I can feel this one. I just need a bass line to it, and then we can look around. And then I found some vocal samples.
Yep.
So I put it into there, and I was like, oh, that fits in. So it takes a while, but eventually I'm really looking at strange places, sample sites, Splice, for example, YouTube. So I'm really digging far to get the whole package.
Well, yeah, you take time to find the sound instead of just going and downloading some samples and dropping them into your music, because I've heard that a lot too, and I've also heard several of the same samples in other people's music, because it's like when they do research, it's like Wikipedia. The first thing that comes up, it's like, boom, I'm going to use that. Well, if you're using samples from the first population of sample sites, because you're too lazy to really dig and find a unique sound that works with your music that you can build around, the quality of your music, it's not there. But you can always tell, because the vocals in Closer to You, obviously they fit very well. So, I mean,
it's hard to find something that fits, as well, because at first I wasn't sure if the vocals would fit in the tune, but after a while I was like, no, I think they fit. And it's really strange. It's a small part, and I'm trying to announce it with some ad-libs, which I actually found somewhere else. Uh-huh. Because if you have, all of a sudden you have vocals in a break, some tracks have it, but they pre-announce it a little bit in the beginning of the track. And I didn't really have some good parts to pre-announce the vocal part, so I had added some ad-libs, which I think fitted in.
Oh, just so you know, when I edit this in iMovie, I will add your tracks to play in the background, okay? And then I have the verbiage come up on the screen what song it is, just because I love this song. And then we'll do Endless too, because Endless is really good. So here's Closer to You. Is that too loud?
It's okay.
Okay. And the video I just love. Oh, it's a great video. So are you going to use this guy again?
Sorry?
Are you gonna use? Let me hang on a second. Are you gonna use your friend again in the video for more videos?
Yeah, maybe. The funny part is he's a producer and a really good producer and DJ as well.
Oh wow!
And he's the funny thing is he does different characters, but also on big festivals here in Holland. So sometimes he's like on a techno festival. He could be the forest techno keeper. So he's walking around in the forest and in a strange suit and doing that as an act, and he does that for different kind of festivals.
Oh,
so he's a strange person, but he's really good at it. Yeah,
it's perfect. Let's get into Endless, because I got to be honest. When you sent me the music, I went on your SoundCloud page, and I listened to all of it, but I listened to Endless in the beginning. And I listened to it, I'm like, okay, this sounds familiar, and I stopped it. And then I went back to Closer. Okay, and then I played it while I was actually working, because I work over here. And I was working, and I played it, and I had it on low. And I was going to make a phone call, and then it started to build. And that, when you dropped that, I was like, wait a minute. And I came over and I turned it up, because the melody and the build is fantastic, and the transition. This is now. Did you play that?
I'll be totally honest with you. I suck at piano playing.
Oh.
And it can take me. Yeah, it can take me maybe 3 or 4 months before I got the right chords.
Yeah.
I have a friend though who plays really good piano, and I say to him, "Okay, I need this," and I'm trying to get the right chords, but I can't get it right. And then he does like, "Oh, you mean this? Dong dong dong," and like, "Thank you. I've been trying to do this for 2.5 months now."
Let me show you something. I don't know if you can see. Do you see that? You see how I labeled those?
Yeah. I see it.
I will sit here and I will play a melody. Obviously, I have to look at the keys, and I'll play it until I can do it fluid, because I can't do it while the music is playing. I have to look at the keys, and until I hit it right, it'll take me 30 times to do it. And I sit here and I'll do it. But I stopped because I got frustrated with the MIDI board, because I'm not a piano player either. And then I got tired of these simple melodies I was making. So, and then when you start to create a more complex melody, it's like you have to layer them. And then you have to edit them, in Logic, and it was just taking too much time, and I don't have that bandwidth. So anyway, I totally understand what you're saying, and kudos to you for having a friend to create that. So I'm going to play just a little more. Now this song is Endless by WHOISJODY, and then that. Dun, 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 dun. Now what is that? Dun, 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 dun. What is that? Did you do that? What did that do?
Yeah.
That's good.
That was quite easy, actually. That was like, do you mean what kind of synth it was, or the note?
No. You're talking Chinese. You talk notes to me. Okay. So, what sound was it? What sound?
Oh, okay. The whole idea of Endless actually came from my first track that I released with my new sound. I used to, back in the day, I was more focused on a little bit more progressive house, leaning over to electronic house, EDM.
Yes.
kind of house. However, I wasn't happy with that sound, and I think about 3 years ago, I decided, okay, it's time to redevelop and really do what you like to do, the music that you like to play, and put your feelings into it.
Right.
So I was, locked myself up in the studio, downloaded loads of sound banks, and just tried out new sound banks, and just going through them and okay, I like this sound, put it in that folder. Okay, no, not that one. So it was really a discovery of sounds that fitted, that I really needed and that I really stood behind, because I had produced tracks before, but I wasn't standing behind the tracks. I didn't dare to play them. And so I thought, well, that's wrong. I've been spending a lot of hours in the studio to finish the track, and it's finished, and now I don't dare to play them because I'm not standing behind the track, the music style.
Right.
So that's not right. So I really needed to start from scratch, and started with new sound banks, and the whole idea, put my feelings into it, and that's how the track Feelings got out there, and actually got signed on Spinning as as one of the talent records in the talent pool.
Wow.
So actually that track has been flying off, like with loads of streams on Spotify, for example. I think it's hit already 2 million plays.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's
it is a good track, and you can, the thing about your tracks is, like, for example, I'm not gonna knock Tiesto, Hardwell, and all those guys, okay? They have a theme, all right, and I'll just leave it at that. But you can tell the producer who creates a track with emotion, because all of your tracks, they have emotion, and you literally gravitate towards it. And it's like like, for example, if I'm somewhere and I hear a song from, like, if I hear like a James Taylor song that I heard when I was a kid with my mom, it triggers that emotion that I felt, and you're just kind of, you're stunned, okay, and you're just like, wow, I remember this, that, and the other. And so with your music, it kind of stuns you, and you're like, man, this is really really good. Let me hear more of it. And I like, it's like an EP, and I love it. You've got some really good melodies, and you can tell that you invested time, because I know when I produced early using Reason and Ableton, 13, 15, 20 hours a song. And that's not editing. That's just going through the sound banks, creating melodies on the keyboard, scrubbing it, coming back to it. You can tell good quality, and you can also tell when someone creates a track in haste. Okay, but your songs are good, man, and it's exciting that, one, you do what you do, and tell me what it's like when you produce a song in your home, and then, like, for example, your trip to Egypt. What is it like when people dance to your music? When you watch people dance to your music, how does that make you feel?
That was amazing. I mean, it's actually just starting at this moment that, people are recognizing my music, and I must say I'm still a really, really small guy compared to other big guys here in Holland and fellow co-producers. Sure. You know, I'm just getting there, but I mean, traveling to Egypt and getting to perform there, that was amazing. I mean, that's I think the start of the international.
That's right.
The recognition that you're getting, hopefully, you know. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, you're obviously on the right track. How do you get, for those aspiring producers and DJs, You know, you mentioned being signed. What's the path? Were you discovered, or did you seek out the labels?
Yeah, I think it's. I quite have a different thought and approach of the whole industry of nowadays, because of course you have one solution of getting signed to a big label, for example.
Sure.
Getting a publisher behind you who believes in you and gives you a big bag of money, and which helps the whole process. However, nowadays it is possible to do it yourself as well.
Right.
Of course, it's a hard way. I mean, the key of it all is delivering content, and the content is the music.
That's right.
Of course, it needs to be of a certain quality. It needs to be out there in the quality on the commercial level of what you mentioned, Hardwell or Dennis Ferrer, so it needs to be on that standard. However, the key is doing it and keeping doing it and delivering, and eventually you will get recognized.
Okay, well, and I get asked that a lot, in messages. People send me a message because, and just so you know, I mean, I'm not some big DJ in Chicago. I mean, that was not my aspiration. My aspiration is to DIY from my home, interview artists, play artists on my radio, and then produce music and play my music on my internet station. And my whole niche or value proposition is that I like to know the artists that I'm playing on my station. I can say, yeah, I'm playing Endless, and I interviewed WHOISJODY, okay? And that's what I bring to the table. And if something happens with my music, then that'd be awesome. And I've done remixes, I've done 9 Inch Nails remixes and things, but I've never pursued a label just because of the arduous process. I mean, when I initially started, I sent out a bunch of CDs in Chicago because it's the house nation of the world. But there's so many people doing it. I have a buddy of mine. His name is Nate Williams. He actually has a couple tracks that were played in Europe, and I forget the name. There's Roy Davis Jr. He's got a song When Gabriel Plays that was hot back in the day. And these guys, they went over there and they DJ'd, but for the aspiring DJs today, with all the software, the hardware, the KRKs and the Macs of the world, everyone's chasing that nut, and so we see people like you, who, like I said before, I think you're parallel to some of the top artists out there, DJs out. That's just my personal opinion. One thing I do have, brother, is I've got a knack for music. My mother went to Woodstock. I listen to all kinds of music. I've got a lot of taste and a lot of music, man. Like I mentioned, James Taylor, Boss Skaggs, Ray Charles. I've got Iceland artists like Bjork. I mean, I love all kinds of music. Led Zeppelin, I love it all. So when I hear something I know that you will be big. And don't forget this interview.
Well, let's cheer on that then. Let's cheers on.
Cheers! Absolutely, you will. You keep doing what you're doing. Your sound quality is really good. That's why I said when I saw you were using Ableton, I was taken aback because I'm sitting here thinking you're in some multi-million-dollar studio, man, and I think that is great. I think that's great that you're pursuing your dream. I
would love to show you my studio right now, but my girlfriend is actually sick, and my studio is in my bedroom. I have a bedroom studio.
No worries. I got a glimpse of it from your video, the video that you put out about the teaser about the new track. do you have any questions for me?
Well, I just want to first of all, thanks for the recognition. That's awesome. And second, how did you notice my music? I mean, how did it swim over to the States?
Well, you know, like the wonderful thing about social media, okay, is that, you know, you can flag your interests. And I'm on Instagram. I use a platform where I get feeds from all the social network based on tags. And obviously, I like house music, I like progressive house, electro house, etc. And so your music came up, and what I do is I'll sit and I'll listen. And I'll just listen, and then I'll dig in, and I'll listen to more. And then I'll play it on my KRKs, because I think, you know, my wife gets on me because I play my music loud. Well, I play it loud so I can hear everything, you know? So I really liked your music. I really like your music, and it just really interested me. And here we are, you know? Yeah. Just like, you know, I interviewed Atella last week. Their music is completely different from your music, but they have a great sound, you know, and they were awesome. It was a great interview. So, no, I like your music, and I hope that as you grow, don't forget to tell your fans that they can hear your music, because just so you know, your song, if you give me a second, I'm going to tell you what song is kicking off at 8 o'clock during the House Music Hour. I actually play house music from 8 p.m. to... Give me a second here. All right, where are we at? Yeah, from 8 o'clock till 9 a.m. tomorrow, I play house music. I play Farley, Frankie Knuckles. I play my buddy Nate. And Nate Williams is a childhood friend of mine. He's a phenomenal... Oh, yeah. You talk about a legacy Chicago house DJ that has a... He has got a catalog in his mind of old soulful house music, you know, samples, and he does it... He uses vinyl. So he's. I'm trying to get him to interview. He's just so busy. I'm going to tell you what track is playing. You're kicking off the hour with Feelings.
Yeah.
8 o'clock. That's when my house music starts. I've peppered your music in, I think, 4 times. The tracks you sent me, I've peppered them in like 4 different times. So your music is going to play throughout the entire segment. So as you get more music, don't forget to send me some so I can feature it. And yeah, don't, man, because here's the thing. It's auto-tweeted. And if you look at my Twitter, you'll see it's auto-tweeted. And that's what's fun about it. I mean, really.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, actually, the plan for this year, this year is going to be, I hope, a little bit of a breakthrough year, because I have planned to release 8 tracks this year.
Oh, nice.
Which of 4 already are signed. So I'm quite on schedule.
That's excellent.
And I have still a couple more tracks which are finished and waiting to create a project or whatever with. But hopefully 8 new tracks are coming out this year, and going through your speakers as well.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't ask. I'm gonna send you a track, and I'd like your opinion, and I'd want to know if you'd like to remix anything that I've created. And you do. I've got a song called Damage Control that I did release through a label in Chicago. It's now defunct. It was, I think 2010 maybe, or 9. It's on iTunes. I'm going to send you the link. But I want to see, and you know, the problem is I've migrated to the newer Mac, and my older Mac is slow. I need to see if I have the original files, the stems and things. If not, we'll figure something out. But I'd like to send you a couple tracks, see if you'd like to remix them. and we can go from there, because I struggle to find a label as well. And obviously, I don't want to tarnish your image. I know the struggle is the struggle is real, and climbing up that slippery slope to retain quality and integrity with the label that you're signed with. So I'm not going to throw you garbage. And if you think it's garbage, just say, hey man, this is not this isn't anything I can work with.
Trust me, I will. But maybe I should tell you that I have my own label as well. Did you know that?
No, nice. No.
Yes.
Okay.
I have an own label which I started in I think in 2013.
Okay.
It's called Esco Records.
Oh, I did see that. Okay.
And it was quite on a low key for the last 2 years, but I pumped some new energy into it, and new sites, new logo, and also new direction with the music style. Obviously, my genre: house, deep house, tech house, accessible techno as well. So I'm going to be putting out more music of my own there as well, not only myself but also other artists. So if you have music, you're more likely to send over your music, and would love to listen to it, and perhaps if it's good, we could arrange something. You know.
Well, now that you said that, I want you, and I'll let you go. I just want you to hear one song. I know your girlfriend's there, and is she being cared for? If not, we can do this another time.
No, sure. No. I'm not in my bedroom now.
Okay.
I'm in my living room, so it's all right.
Okay, just give me a sec. It's just one song, and I got a lot of good feedback from this song. I'm just pulling it up on YouTube right now. But yeah, finding a label is tough, and I have a civilian job too. I don't do this full time. I mean,
yes,
you know.
Yeah, but it's the same for me. I mean, I can't live of the music
right
at the moment as well as I would like to, but it's going forward in a good way. But I have to work beside it as well, and I do freelance jobs in marketing or events, or I could help out with a restaurant business when I do it as well. So it's
yeah. So we're in the same boat.
Of course, but it's not possible yet.
Right. No, I hear you. But it's a passion, and I'll keep pursuing it. So I'm gonna play this one song.
Yeah.
So let me start it from the beginning. Okay. This is called True Blue.
True Blue.
It's got vocals from Big Maybelle, 1930s blues singer.
Okay. Yeah. You'll have to send it to me because the connection is a little bit slow, okay. I think.
I'll send it to you then. We won't waste our time listening to it. I'll send it to you. I'll send the link to you. But like I said, you know, as you get more releases, send them to me. I'll feature them on therunner.com via the player, the internet radio station, and you know, it'll show your JPEG. Make sure you send the cover art like you've been doing, and it also can be heard on TuneIn.com. Via therunner.com. Yeah. Remember, the runner's 3 N's, because a lot of people they'll send me a message and go, hey man, that's not you what are you doing? You know, I'm like, well, you got to add the 3rd N. So check that out. Your music, I know it's late where you are, but you're going to start the hour off at 8 p.m. Central Time, my time, and again, your music's going to be played throughout the night. So stay in touch, Jody. This was fun. It's been a pleasure, and I'll send you this track. But as you get more music, man, send it over. Definitely send it over so I can play it for you.
Please send your music. I would love to listen to it, and thanks for your time and my possibility to get closer to new fans.
Oh, great. Hey, listen, thank you very much. Okay, you have yourself a good night, man, and we'll stay in touch.
Thanks. You too, man.
Take care. Bye bye.
Good talking to you. Bye bye.
You too. Bye bye.